Okay, so I show 10 o'clock. So we are going to get started. Hi, my name is Dr. Kristy Mulkey, and I am the workshop coordinator with 240 Tutoring. And today I'm live with you on Facebook to give you some general tips and strategies as you go into your certification exams. So we're going to be looking at some general things you can do to feel more confident. Now, we are recording this video and we will be adding closed captioning. And that recorded video will be posted to all of our Facebook groups, our YouTube channel, and our Instagram. So if you're looking for this after the fact, you can find it in multiple places with that closed captioning. So let's go ahead and get started. I am going to share my screen with you so that you can easily follow along. All right. Okay, hold on. I'm having just a little bit of difficulty. I'm going to try that again one more time. Okay, there we go. So we're going to be looking at some, again, general tips for the night before the exam and the day of your exam. So let's jump right in. First of all, we want you to know that you need a little strategy just to keep yourself calm. If you don't know what to expect and you're just not prepared for that day, it can make it even more stressful. So let's talk about some general things you can do to help you prepare for that exam. So remember the goal. Most of these exams, you just need a 60 to 70% correct. So you need to get 60 to 70% of those questions correct to pass the exam. Now, I want you to think about not worrying about that perfect score. So you perfectionists out there, I really want you to consider that you don't need that perfect score. You don't. You just need 60 to 70% of the questions correct. So think about that. Look at how many questions are on your test. Go ahead and do the math. How many is that? So if there's 100% of the, or 100 questions, you need about 70 questions to hit that 70% mark. We want to reduce your stress and anxiety. I'm going to give you a tip I used to share with my former students. Guys, worry is like a rocking chair. It keeps you busy, but it really gets you nowhere. So don't worry. It does you no good. It occupies your minds, but it's not helpful. So let's talk about some specific things you can do to reduce your stress and your anxiety as you go into test day. All right, the night before, I don't want you cramming. Cramming at this point is not helpful. Cramming is helpful when you have 2 to 3 weeks. It's not helpful the night before. If you have done adequate preparation, you don't need to cram. So ideally, you've started studying 2 to 3 months before the exam. If you're looking at a shorter window than that, I highly suggest you go watch my cramming video, and it will help you figure out how to best make use of your time. Sleep. It is very important that you get a good amount of sleep. All right, 8 hours, 7 hours is pushing it. Anything less than that, you are going to struggle. Most of these exams require a great deal of stamina. And so if you're going to get through that test, you're going to need a good night's sleep. You're going to be staring at a screen for an extended period of time with limited breaks. So sleep's going to be super important. Food. Food is also really super important. Guys, food. Do not try extra caffeine or extra sugar the morning of the exam or the night before the exam. All right, you want to stick with your normal diet. If you add extra caffeine or sugar, then you're going to crash. So stick with your normal diet. That way your stomach doesn't get upset. All of those things, because you're already stressed. When you get up in the morning, eat a hearty, healthy breakfast. Most of these exams, again, are long, and you're going to need some food on your stomach because you can't take breaks to eat. And most of these testing centers, if not all, do not allow food in the testing center. So you're going to need a good breakfast. Now, the other thing, the morning of, I want you to consider these things. Allowing extra time. Nothing adds stress like feeling like you're running late. So we want extra time. If it normally takes you an hour to get up, get dressed, eat breakfast, drink a cup of coffee, and get out the door, add 30 minutes. So get up an hour and a half before you need to leave. Add 30 minutes to your morning routine. So you're going to add 30 minutes to that morning routine just so you don't feel stressed and pressured. So if something happens, like you spill coffee on your shirt, or you get toothpaste on your shirt and you want to change, or you can't find your keys, those kinds of things happen, and we want to make sure we have extra time built in. Another thing is travel. I also want you to add 30 minutes, or at the minimum, 15 minutes to that travel time. This is especially true if you're going someplace you've never been before. Now, I would recommend to students that if it's close, that you drive over there the day before or the week before to make sure you know where you're going. But if it's not close, that's not feasible. So what I want you to do is allow 15 to 30 minutes extra for travel. That way, if there's traffic, if there's an accident, if you have to detour, if you forgot you needed gas, you have time for that. Remember, most testing centers ask you to arrive early. So if your test is supposed to begin at 9, they may ask you to arrive at 8:30. All right, so plan that based on the arrival time, right? So there's a few general tips. Now, on the exam day, guys, confidence goes a long way. Being confident is so important. Believe in yourself and trust everything you've done to prepare, all right? You've put in the work. Now trust yourself. The other thing, don't panic. Take little breaks. If you feel your anxiety start to rise, I want you to stop and take a break. Now, that doesn't have to be a get up and leave the room break. Usually you have some of those scheduled. I mean, just stop touching the mouse, put your pen down, and just stop, take a few deep breaths, maybe rub your eyes, stretch for a second, and then come back to it. Figure out what helps you stay calm and focused. Maybe you take some deep breaths. Maybe you just stop and meditate, or whatever it is that brings you a sense of calmness, okay? Use that throughout the test every time you feel your anxiety starting to build. Now, the next thing I want you to look at is pacing. Pacing. Oh, I can't emphasize this enough. This is probably the biggest thing you can do on exam day to help you be successful. It's critical for timed exams, and almost all your certification exams are timed. So I really want you to think about this. Common mistake, working through this test. I look up, I have 10 minutes left, and I have 20 questions left. And then I end up just randomly guessing at the last 10 or so. And I've seen so many people come out so frustrated because they ran out of time. Guys, on most of these tests, they have a timer running on the screen or a clock on the wall. You've got to keep up with your time. So I'm going to give you a couple of strategies to help you. I'm actually going to jump down here to the bottom and note this one first. Note halfway. So let's say you have a 50-question test and you have 60 minutes to take it. Halfway through that 50-question test would be 25 questions. Halfway through that 60 minutes would be 30. So you need to note at the 30-minute mark, I should be on question 25 or further. Now, some people will try to break this down and say, I have so many minutes per question, or every 10 minutes I need to have finished this many questions. That can actually take time away because you're constantly thinking about it. So what I want you to focus on is that halfway point. Where should I be halfway? And if you're not there, you know you've got to pick up the pace. If you're past where you needed to be, you know you're going to have some time to go back. Speaking of going back, I want to look at point B right here. Marking what to come back to and how. You need to have a plan on how you will do this. A lot of the computer systems will allow you to flag a question so you know to come back to it. So if that's there, that's great. But I want to teach you a more specific strategy. I used to tell my students on the scratch paper they provide you or on the dry erase board, sometimes they give you a whiteboard to work with and a marker. I want you to create a 3-column table. And I want a check mark, I want a question mark, and I want an X. And as you work through the questions, let's say I get to question number 1, I read it, I answer it, I'm pretty confident I'm gonna put a 1 right there. Let's say I answer question number 2, I'm read it, I answer it pretty confident, I'm gonna put a 2 right there. Say I get to question 3 and I have no clue. I have no clue. I'm gonna put it over here, I'm gonna guess, and I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna take my best guess, but I'm going to move on. Let's say I get to question number 4. And then I'm like, oh, I've got it narrowed down to 2, but I'm not real sure. Maybe I just need time to think about this. I'm gonna put a 4 right here. Okay, now of course you can start at the top if you would like, if your dry erase board is small. But I'm going to basically put every question in a category. When time is, or when I'm finished, if I still have time, I'm gonna come back and look at these first. Because I had those narrowed down, I was just a little bit on the fence. Now go ahead and mark them. So you hear me, when you put it in the X, you put it in the question mark, go ahead and mark an answer. That way, if you don't have time to come back, an answer is marked. But if I have time to come back, I'm gonna come back and look at these first because I was just on the fence and I wanna double check them. If I still have time, then I'll come back and look at these. Maybe I'll have an epiphany and I'll suddenly know the answer, but probably not. Now, another thing this does for you is at the end of the test, you can quickly count up how many you have in this column, and you know how many questions you needed to get right to get that 70%. And that might give you some peace of mind and reduce some of your anxiety leaving the exam. A lot of students, I tell them, you can count on probably, if you got these narrowed down to 2 out of 4, all right, you got it narrowed down to 2 answer choices, you can probably count on getting half of those correct. Half of those correct. So just note that at the end, that can ease your mind a little bit. So have a strategy. You don't have to follow this strategy I just laid out, but you do need a strategy for how am I going to tackle this. Now, during the exam, how to answer a question. Step 1, read the question. What is it asking me? Get a general idea, general framework. Step 2, reread it. Reread that question. Think about what specifically is it asking me? What's important in this question? Be aware, lots of times they throw extra information in that prompt, in that question that you don't need. Highlight any keywords, like they say always, or they put a grade level in that actual question stem of what would a first grader do in this circumstance. Note that important thing, that age makes a difference in how you answer it. Read each answer option. Not reread, read each answer option, then reread them again. So quickly read them, reread them again, and try to eliminate anything that's obviously wrong, narrowing down those answer choices, okay? Before you select, then select your answer. Go back and note, did I feel good about this one? Was I on the fence, or am I completely guessing? All right? Identifying your actual answer. So we want to increase our odds. So if I have 4 answer choices, A, B, C, and D to choose from, I want to increase my odds of getting it right. Right now I have a 1 in 4, 25% chance of getting it right. Guys, usually there's one obviously wrong answer. Usually there's one obviously wrong. So go ahead and take that one out. So say you read the answer choices and you're like, oh, A cannot be it. And then start to look at, oh, well, based on that keyword I saw, I can probably eliminate D because that won't work. Now I've got it narrowed down and I've got a 50% chance of getting that question right. So at that point, I'm going to go with my gut. Guys, you've prepared. Hopefully you've prepared long and hard for this exam. Go with your gut. That preparation's in your brain and that instinct is there and it's going to pull on what you've studied. So go with your gut. Answer it. Don't sit there and stare at it. I'm going to say that again. Don't sit there and stare at a question. That's how you look up with 10 minutes left and 20 questions left. Don't. Once you've got it narrowed down, choose, move on. Mark the answer, move on. So if it falls in any of those categories, that check mark category, that question mark category, that X category. No matter what, I am choosing my answer and then I'm moving on. I'm not going to linger on any one question. Now, here's another general tip. Depending on the test you're taking and what state you're in, some questions may contain pedagogical knowledge, which is how we teach. How we teach, not what we're teaching, not the content, but how we're doing that. I want you to remember something. Student-centered always wins. Always. So you're thinking in the ideal world, how would I teach that? Not the classrooms you remember as a student, maybe not the classrooms you've done observation in or some practicum hours in. I want you to think about in the ideal world, what would the correct answer be? And student-centered is going to win out. So think these terms you see listed right here. Active engagement, interaction with peers, appropriate levels of thinking, a classroom climate that values and accepts students. So we want students engaged. We want them interacting. We want them thinking at a higher level whenever that's appropriate. And we want a climate that promotes all of those things and accepts and values that student input, okay? So if you're looking at a pedagogical question, you've got it narrowed down to 2. You want to go with the constructivist answer. That's what this means. Student-centered means constructivist. So we always want to go with that answer. So think about it. If it's asking about levels of thinking, consider the age. That's going to be a big one, or grade level. So remember, student-centered always wins in those questions. What do I do if I get stuck? What do I do if I get stuck on a question? Again, don't waste too much mental energy. Answer it, go with your gut, move on. Answer it, go with your gut. Put it in that question column. If you have time, you'll come back to it. But you've got to just keep moving. Move on and come back. Have a plan. Even if you don't use the strategy I suggested, have a plan. And remember, listen to your gut, move on. Now, that is all I have for you today because I wanted to keep this short and simple, but just know you can do this. If you have any specific questions or comments or just another tip you would like, I want you to post that in the comments. I'll be happy to come back and answer those and provide you any support you need. Remember, you can follow us on social media for more videos like this to see how you can best prepare for your exam. We're on Facebook. We have some specific groups for your tests. We're on YouTube, and we're now on Instagram. So if you're an Instagram fan, go check us out on Instagram. If you have any questions, again, comment, or you can email us at the email address shown here. I will put links to everything I've mentioned here in the comments after this video is posted. Again, we will be posting a recorded version of this with closed captioning in all of our social media. So I thank you for your time today and appreciate all you're doing to prepare to best impact our students. Thank you so much. And again, this is Dr. Kristy Mulkey with 240 Tutoring.